Good morning. It is Thursday, May the 29th at 11 o'clock a.m. This is meteorologist Shay Gibson with SailFlow bringing you a first official forecast for the Helly Hansen Sailing World Regatta Series in Detroit. So starting tomorrow, going through Saturday, Sunday, we'll be live every morning at 7:30. So please be sure to tune in. Quick shameless plug for us at SailFlow. We do have the sensor in the area, the Pesh Light sensor. There's another one to the north as well. So a couple of points of data. And there's some nearby Tempest stations as well that I'll be discussing a little bit. But either way, it looks like we're pretty much locked into a westerly wind for today. And then tomorrow, I'll talk a little bit more about some of the impacts from a front coming down from the north. But here you'll see all of our information for SailFlow. It's a free download. You get free daily pro forecast at 8 a.m. So there is a blurb in there about Lake St. Clair from one of our Mets up there. But they're good existing sensors and public stations around the area as well. Race areas will be C and B with race circle A tucked into the Detroit River near Bayview Yacht Club, as the A used to be in the dumping grounds area. Too shallowed out up there. But either way, we'll be talking a little bit more. You can see all the classes of boats here are listed. And with that said, I'll go ahead and just go right into the forecast and bring the draw tool over. So right now, for today, we're looking at high pressure setup over the Midwest. And this is going to provide a little bit of a zonal flow, or I wouldn't say a little bit, pretty much a good zonal flow. As this low exits off the northeast coast near New England, this low is going to go up and exit. And then another low, we're going to be watching this area across the Midwest towards the Mississippi River. This one's going to be daisy chaining along this low here over the Appalachians, along this undulating front. We say undulating as in a rippling front, right? So in between, this is going to be gathering some steam as Gulf moisture is pulled up along that front. And then this low pressure is going to deepen and impact the winds for Saturday. Sunday looks a little bit lighter, but in a general nutshell, I'm just going to go day to day here. We're going to talk about this high pressure. Pulling into the area for today, we look at 10 to 14 knots from the west as of right now. That's going to fluctuate a little bit, but it looks like it's going to hold west for the day as this low exits out, and we get some progression of that frontal activity to the south. So that'll continue through the day today and into tomorrow. If you notice this feature, overnight tonight, we got this backdoor front I talked about on Monday. That's going to be dropping down from the north, right? So the timing of that actually is staying on track. We talked about this earlier, that tends to slow down in time. This one's actually progressed. One of the few times I can say has progressed pretty well, which means that we escape a lot of the rain. Looks like some of the rains and showers are going to be tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening after the race is finished. But this is going to impact the winds as we get into Friday for the race. As we go into the day, this front will be dropping down. This high pressure will be aggregating to the south. That'll be trying to keep this westerly flow going. But as this front drops down from the north, we see a tendency for it to go a little bit north or west by north, or possibly even northwest, as it aligns with the direction of the front as it comes down. So it really depends on where the point of axis is on this front as it drops down. If the axis sort of drops this way, then the winds will be more west. If it drops a little more this way, then the winds will be a little bit more northwest. So it's all about angles, and we'll get into that tomorrow morning and the live forecast and get some more exacts on it. But a few showers expected later Friday and into Saturday, early Saturday morning, and then clearing out as this front sweeps through. So just wanted to point that out. Looks like somewhat moderate winds today become a little more light, very light tomorrow in the 5 to 9 knot ranges. We'll go into the SailFlow app here in just a second, but just giving you an overview. As we get into Saturday, we see the front dropping through overnight Friday night and sweeping through by Saturday morning, 8, 9 o'clock a.m. So hopefully that'll be all cleared out by the time the race starts. And then the winds kind of kick in. We have a nice jolt of winds wrapping around this low that's deepening. Remember, I talked about this one developing across the Tennessee Valley, sweeping up across the Appalachians. And there it is with this wraparound flow coming down with it and high pressure digging down from the Canadian Arctic area. So bring some cooler temperatures, not too bad, but cooler temperatures across the area as well. So if you take a look at SailFlow, and we're going to take the Pesh Light sensor and just run all the models. For tomorrow, we see a lot of agreement with this westerly or zonal flow, as we call it, cutting through the morning and holding light. Now, one thing I want to point out is by the 10:30 race start time, right, we're looking at pretty light winds, 5 to 9 knots, maybe be 4 to 8. I'm hoping that we'll get a little bit more of a pressure gradient off of that high pressure as that front drops down, and the higher resolution miles, the 2 kilometer, is starting to kind of trend upwards. And that's due to that backdoor front dropping down from the north and increasing the pressure gradient with high pressure to the south. I think this may end up being a little bit more aggressive. And again, we'll be talking about this more tomorrow morning, but I'm kind of siding on the higher end of these winds as we get into Friday morning at the race start and into the afternoon. So these spikes up here are where the high resolution models are actually reading storm activity. So pretty impressive. The 3 kilometer HER is up there with the 2 kilometer. You have the NAM 3 down here that's spiking up as well. And they're in a lot of agreement with a general trend upwards through the day. As we go through into Saturday, we see that wraparound north-northwest flow. There may be some variances in the direction. And once it gets locked in, I think it'll be pretty straightforward for 3 to 4 hours in a row before shifting a little bit. As you can see through the day, winds are veering from northwest over to northwest and then north eventually. So the good thing is that there's going to be wind. There'll be sun. It'll be a little bit cooler, but we'll have to really watch for this point, like off of Grosse Point. These directions can be a little bit tricky until they veer a little bit more north. Then you have more of a north fetch, a cleaner fetch down across the course. If it's in this direction, right, you got to remember, especially inside the river, inside the Detroit River, winds are going to be pretty gusty. They're going to be land shadowed out. So just be aware of that. And as we get into Sunday, we look at the winds really lightening up. And I want to go back to the WPC chart to kind of show you what's happening. This high pressure digging down is going to bite all the way through behind this front. And then really what matters is the position of the center of this high pressure. We see the ridge axis here coming down along with it, and then the central high developing really close by. So the further over to the west it is, the more of a northwest or west-northwest flow we're going to get off of it. The further south it goes, the more of a westerly flow we're going to get. So the models are struggling to resolve this at the moment. But my hope is that we will get enough of a pressure gradient between that one where the position settles a little bit more southward, digs in behind that front. So that's where the models are struggling a little bit. Just wanted to kind of give you some context on what we're looking at as we go through the next 3 days. Looking at live wind, of course, I'll be sharing windy, just kind of going through some millibars, isobars off these maps and where they are with the pressure. And then here's the rain. So I want to talk a few showers possible today for those of you that are here early or getting out there on the practice runs. Just a scatter, like an isolated shower or two today. No thunderstorms are anticipated. I did look at the Weather Service office forecast discussion. They don't seem to think anything's off. But as you can see, here comes that backdoor front as we get into Friday afternoon or Friday early afternoon into late afternoon. We see them diving down across the area, not arriving here until later in the afternoon and into the evening. So some scattered showers, maybe a rumble or two as we go through tomorrow night. And as we get into Saturday, of course, everything clears out and we get the sunshine back. So looking pretty good as far as waves. Wave action looks to pick up ahead of that front tomorrow afternoon. The Weather Service has this tabular forecast. It says experimental right here, right? It's out of the Detroit Pontiac office. But it gives you some context. 2 feet or less today, 1 to 3 feet today. I'd probably side on the 2 to 3 maybe if those winds pick up to 14 knots. You'll see a little bit more of a wind-driven swell across that current. So it might be a little bit rough out there. And then as we get into tomorrow ahead of that front, they're still calling for 2 feet or less Friday morning, Friday night, 2 to 4 feet where those storms come in and really kick up the swell. And by Saturday, things start to wind down. There may be about a 2-foot swell left over Saturday morning, and then calming down as those offshore or those winds coming across land filter in. As far as air temperatures go, we're looking at a pretty comfortable 72 degrees for tomorrow, 68 for today. And we drop down to 66 and 68 Saturday and Sunday due to that northerly element coming down out of Canada. And outside of that, that'll be a wrap for the forecast for today. We'll see you back tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Don't forget to tune in. Bring your questions. We will field those live during the segment. And if anything, have a good time out there today. Get yourselves ready. Godspeed. See you tomorrow morning.